Fabian Sinelli
and Jessica Brereton here presenting to you our end of year financial year 2021 to 2022 market wrap. Now Fabian.
Yes, Jessica.
For this financial year, we conducted in total 1,216 auctions with an average clearance rate of 74%. We also saw an average of 5.9% above the owner's written reserve and of course 4.7 on average bidders there as well.
Good, that's very, very healthy, Jess. It's some wonderful stats there. And what I really found interesting about the last 12 months is that what we probably haven't experienced ever before in the real estate industry was that the fact that we experienced, I think, 3 different types of real estate markets. What do you think?
I think you are absolutely right there, Fabian. Considering we did have the lockdown market, which we all experienced, the post-pandemic boom, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was fun, it was exciting. And then also we've now experienced and still experiencing the market correcting itself there too.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to see the waves and peaks and troughs of the markets and the different markets we faced. But I think it was really exciting, as you mentioned, that post-pandemic boom and what we're seeing at the moment. Obviously, as you did mention, we're seeing a correction in the marketplace, which is probably a bit of a normalization at the moment as well. So I'm going to bring us into the stats for June as well, because this is a June market wrap too.
It is.
What we found for the last 30 days for June, we had 75 auctions conducted, so slightly down a little bit on volume there, which is probably normal given what's happening in the marketplace right now with some confidence issues potentially arising from buyers and sellers. We had a pretty healthy clearance rate of 65%, which is still well above industry standard. 3% above the owner's written reserve price, so there's a bit of a correction there. That's dropping from previous months, but again, that's probably got to do with the correction. But a really interesting stat for June was that we averaged 4.7 bidders per auction conducted. That's actually really, really high. It's actually higher than what we experienced for the last 12 months. So I'm genuinely surprised with that, and I'm hoping that carries into the next couple of months, because that's actually going to put a lot of confidence back into the marketplace. But with that, we've got a couple of great success stories. Jess, did you want to get us into the first one?
I definitely do. So our first success story for the month goes to property number 5 Muir Street in Mount Waverley, with lead listing agents Tony Chur and Bonnie Shang from Harcourt's First. Now, this auction here was conducted on the 18th of June at 10:30 a.m. We saw 4 active bidders fighting it out ferociously. Now, Fabian, this auction dragged on for 31 minutes in total, resulting in a sale price of $2,223,000, which was a whopping $223,000 above the owner's written reserve. So well done to the entire team there at Harcourt's First.
I actually went to that auction, Jess. I was I was fortunate enough to have a break during my day and went to go watch the very, very wonderful Ben Thompson in action, who was our auctioneer that obviously handled that auction, and he did an absolutely phenomenal job. It was just a very, very well drilled auction, and he made sure he kept the buyers at bay and kept them all happy, because it was getting a little bit frustrating at the end for some buyers, given the fact that Benny was trying to drag it out and chip the increments down. But he did what any great auctioneer does, and he obviously got a premium price for the vendor. So well done to Ben, and of course the selling agents who made that result possible as well. Now, our second success story goes to our wonderful clients at Ray White Ferntree Gully, Jack Rickard, the selling agent there. 1 Piparita Road, Ferntree Gully, 4th of June at 10:30 a.m. was the date and time of the auction. It was a typical auction, this one, 20-minute auction. We had 4 bidders actively fighting it out. We had a sale price of $845,500, which was actually sold on a $500 bid, $75,000 above the owner's written reserve price. Well done to Jack. Now, just going to commend Jack a little bit here, because what made this auction so incredible was the fact that he was able to average 10.25 bids per bidder at his auction there. Now, there were 4 active bidders, so the fact that there was 41 bids for the auction and they all had 10 bids each, that's phenomenal. That tells me that the agent was really coaching the bidders before the auction, because in this market, we're seeing an average of 3 to 5. So he's been able to double or even triple that with his auction. So there was a lot of planning involved for this auction to make sure that it flourished, and which is why it sold so well above the owner's written reserve price. So well done to Jack there. That's actually an incredible stat, well above the industry standard, and I think the last 30 days for us, and of course the last 12 months. Now, that brings me to our hot tip. Now, Jess, you're going to love this one. I've nitpicked here from what the elite auction agents are doing. Now, the market is changing so quickly, okay? What agents are doing in this market to combat red flags is the moment they list a property for auction, let's just say 1 to 1.1 million, they are pre-planning an adjustment price meeting with their vendors after 7 days of going to launch. So what that means is this. Let's say that property there was started to generate feedback levels around 950 to 980. Within 7 days, the agents are adjusting the price straight away. So they've still got 3 weeks up their sleeve to generate enough bidders bidders at the auction for it to be cleared on the day. So agents out there listening to this, have a pre-planning pending meeting with your vendors 7 days after it goes live, just in case you need to readjust that price range. If you don't pre-plan this with your vendor, probably going to be a little bit of a shock to them when you have this conversation with them. So if you pre-plant that seed, it's going to be a much smoother conversation. Now, Jess, you can bring us out now.
Definitely a great hot tip, by the way, as well.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of our ongoing clients for their ongoing support. If you're looking to partner with Victoria's leading auctioneer company, then please contact EYS Auctions today.